Today we will begin with Sahana Bhavatu, because the knowledge that we were studying, we were acquiring, that is coming to an end, and we are supposed to get that knowledge. So that we are collecting and then afterwards assimilating, living in that life. So let us chant the Sahana Bhavatu. Please repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Adhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. We were discussing why we should meditate, because the meditation is a subject very interesting. People are always eager to know about it, and this is almost, we can say, is a subjective thing. Why? Because it is our own mind, and we have to control our mind. That is whole the meditation. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. Yoga means, meditation means, concentration means controlling the thought, waves of thought. Whose thought? My thought. So it is my subjective thing. I have to control my mind. Now my mind means different minds. It is all different people, different type of minds. Why different mind? Why mind is not one? Because the impressions are different. And according to the same object that I see and I get some knowledge totally different than somebody else. Why this? Because my past impressions. So I impose my idea, my thought, my imagination on that particular object. And from there I get. Now in the beginning, when I came into this country, I saw the beautiful yellow flowers all over, wild flowers. I was so happy. So my eyes are going over there, impressions are coming back. The flower I saw, I am happy. Next, a person told, these flowers will turn white, then it will burst, then it will fly in the air, and it creates problem for the human. So second time when I saw the same flower, I was conscious that I have to close my nose. I should not smell those things. Third time when I saw really it is all floating in the air. So why? Because the experience, because the impressions, because the ideas, I am throwing my mind on a same object and coming back, receiving back with different knowledge. So this is the idea. So mind are different. So different people, different mind, different thoughts. So that is why meditation means only one person will meditate and all other will get the benefit. No, it is not possible. It is completely subjective. You have to do it. My father can control my mind, control his mind, doesn't mean that will help me. No, maybe a little bit of inspiration will come. Now, here it says that we were reading Vastu Samye Chitta Vedat Tayo Vibhakta Panthaha. Vastu Samye. Now, Swami Vivekananda, he is explaining, since perception and desire vary with regard to the same object, mind and object are of different nature. Mind and object are of different nature, but same object. Same object, but different nature. I told you one story. This is usually in the Vedanta classes, they will be uttering, they will be quoting, that one person, a monk, he came out and he was going to the river to take a bath, and he saw in the distance something which he thought, the monk thought, another monk, another sannyasi, and he is sitting over there covering his head with a blanket and meditating. So, this person, the first monk, he came out, he saw an object and thought that is another person, a monk, meditating, and started thinking, fie on me. I was sleeping, and look at that person, he has already bathed and already started his meditation, and I was sleeping. So, that was his thought. He rushed to the river so that he can also do like that. Another person came, he was a thief. He saw the same object and he thought immediately, oh, I heard that a new police officer has come and he is very active. In this so cold weather, he is sitting over there, maybe that he got an information that I will be coming to this area, he is waiting for me. The thief saw the same object as a police officer. And sometimes some of our friends at a time of driving, maybe they are a little in a higher side of the speed, if they see some from distance, they immediately they will be, oh no, police is coming. Afterwards, no, it is not police, something else. So, in his mind, subconscious mind, always he knows that I am breaking the law and there is a possibility that I will be caught. Thus, similarly, I am throwing my views, and I was sitting by the side, I was not aware of the police, and I was enjoying that yellow, red and green light. So, that is good, but that is the foolish light. He is afraid, I am enjoying. Why? Because different type of thoughts. So, that proves from our daily life, from daily experiences, same object, different mind, observe it, experience it, different way. And so, naturally, here Swamiji is telling, that is, there is an objective world independent of our minds. This is a refutation of Buddhistic idealism. The Buddhistic idealism, according to the Buddhistic philosophy, it is jnana sambhabhu, sayambhu, sambhabhu. The knowledge is creating. They say knowledge is creating. This is a point that we must try to understand a little difference. Knowledge, my idea, is creating. I see a tree, so tree has been created because I saw the tree. That is the Buddhistic idea. But the Samkhya and Yoga philosophy, they say no, the object was already there, it is independent. You thought, you threw your mind over that and thought it in that fashion, that is all. Object was already there. So, this is a preliminary only. The Shunyavada, there is nothing. From your knowledge, you are creating. That is the Buddhists they say. But the Vedantins say, the Samkhya and Yoga and Vedanta, no, it is not like that. There is Brahman, there is something over which you are throwing your mental impression and getting back that knowledge. So, this it says, since different people look at the same thing differently, it cannot be mere imagination of any particular individual. Why we are discussing this way? Because this is very important. This is Kaivalya Pada. And last phase we have come. Last chapter we are studying. And what is that last chapter? Mukti. Kaivalya means Mukti. Mukti from what? Mukti from karma, knowledge, action. Mukti from action. Action means result. Result means good and bad, and naturally either enjoyment or suffering, and it goes on and on and on. Now, if I see that there is nothing actually, the Buddhistic ideology, I am creating. So, if I stop looking at anything, there is no creation. If I see, then I create, then there is a creation. That is, they say like that. The knowledge actually creating, there is no object. From my impression, from my mind, I am throwing an object, I see that. There is nothing. But Vedanta say it cannot be, there must be something. This is the two difference, Buddhistic and Vedantic. There is something over which you are sending your impression, throwing your impression and getting a knowledge. So, these are the two things. This is very important. If we think this universe is nothing, there is no object, I am only creating, then if I close my eyes and all the senses, there is no creation, so I am mukta. Nirvana means that way, the Buddhistic way of explanation. As because there is no creation, there is no bondage. But Vedanta says it is not so easy. Because there is an object, you throw something on that, you get back the impression of that, so you have to. So, that is the reason in the yoga aphorism, in so details they are discussing, because if we make a mistake over here, then two things happen. Actually, what is there in our life? One is those objects, different things in the whole universe, so many different things. And then subject. What is that subject? I. Because I see, they are there. If I don't see, they won't be there. So, that is I is very important. So, they are discussing in that. In the next aphorism, it says, Tad uparagapte Shittitra. This is called Chittasya Jnata Ajnatam. Tat Uparaga Prekshitatvat. Uparaga Prekshita. Chittasya Jnata Ajnatam. Things are known or unknown. Jnata and Ajnata. Known and unknown. To the mind, being dependent on the coloring means prekshita, I am throwing as if prekshitatvam upuragi, I am actually imposing, throwing my mind, my thought on something. Things are known or unknown to the mind. being dependent on the coloring which they give to the mind. So, here the Yoga Sutra is supporting the Vedanta, and the same way they speak Sankhya and Yoga, that actually the things are there, then I throw my mind on that and I get back to different impressions. In one way it says, na asato vidyate bhava, na abhava vidyate satah. Now asato means there is nothing, vidyate. There is nothing, it cannot be, there is something. And then now abhava, and it won't be there, that will also not be there. This world will be like this. Now, in the spiritual life, what do you want? Liberation. What do you want? Going to the Swarga. What do you want? God realization. Atma-jnana, Brahma-jnana, Ishwar darshan, or going to the heaven. So, these are all these things are there. How? Two things are there. One is consciousness, another is not conscious, but all those objects that is constantly dragging me. Now, the fight between, the tug of war between these two, and my mind is the rope. Sometimes the objects are dragging me, and sometimes my consciousness dragging this side. So, it goes on like this. Now, some people say it is nothing is there. Unnecessarily, you are afraid. And some people said something is there. So, obviously, we have to understand. So, again and again they are going on. Now, this explanation, it says objects are there. It was there, it will be there even after your liberation. So, before my liberation, objects are there. After my liberation, object will be there. For whom? Those who see these things. Same thing will continue. At the time of Shankaracharya, at the time of Jesus Christ, at the time of Buddha, all these things were there, all these discussions were there, and today also we are doing the same thing. And after us, maybe 50, 100 years, again people will be thinking like that. So, two things, one is consciousness, another object, and this object is constantly dragging us. And here Vedanta, they explain in this way, all objects are compounded of the gunas, sattva, raja and tama. This is nicely explained. Sattva, raja and tama, the three gunas. And the gunas may project a gross manifestation, that is to say, a visible, tangible object. These three gunas, they are throwing before us a visible, tangible object, or they may project a subtle manifestation. Someone just looked at you, and from that glance you felt that he is not liking you. He didn't say anything, he didn't express anything, no word, no expression, nothing, only looked at you. But that gunas, sattva, raja, tama, it created a feeling within your mind. So, the subtle object, subtle thing is also there, created by sattva, raja and tama. And sometimes tangible things are also there, created by sattva, raja and tama. Further, they may alter their interrelationship, so that, for example, rajas become dominant in place of sattva. That we know. Some people are very, very active, and some are not so much active, but contemplative, and some are lethargic. So, sattva, raja, tama, so they are sometimes changing. Since the three gunas never cease to be present in one or another combination, the object preserves an essential unity even in the diversity of its forms and expression. The gunas are always there, but sometimes when the sattva guna is more, it is so good. But the raja is also there, tama is also there. Any holy man, even in that holy man, tama and sattva and raja will be there. But the prevalence of the sattva, so people think, oh, he is a very holy man. Hence, we see the same mind exist essentially throughout the many rebirths of the individual. Now, the argument is, this is one mind, and in this life when I die, mind is also destroyed. So, whatever karma that I did in the past, that is also gone, I am free. No, it is not like that. Someone did some bad things, maybe in India, and somehow he came over here in America and was very happy. Police could not catch me over there, so nobody is going to know anything about me, so I am very free. But the Indian police will inquire, and then they will give international alert, and these all people all over the world, and nowadays it is so easy because of the computer, they will be knowing, oh, these are the things, okay, this is the person, find out, and they will find out somehow. Today, just now, at 2-3 hours before, I was coming from the Canada and immigration. So, they told, put your 4 fingers, right hand finger, left hand finger, this thumb, that thumb, and stand before camera, all these things. Why? Because long back, when I made this passport and the visa to come over here, they took all these impressions. All over the world, these impressions are there. The moment they are typing my name and the passport number, immediately sitting in Canada, they are getting the same information and they are matching, yes, this is the same person. They were asking me, because my photo is with the cap, and then told, suppose you remove the cap, how you will look? I told, that is not in the passport, it will look different. But still, if you, then I remove, oh, you will look different, but you look good. I said, thank you. So that way they are making fun. So this way, everywhere, everything unknown, you cannot hide. Similarly, this fellow, he came from India with a thinking that now I am free. No, you are not free, because all the karma are following, and he was caught. Similarly, our mind, when I die, some people they commit suicide, thinking that chalo theek hai, okay, now I am free from all the sufferings. When people are happy, they never commit suicide, but when they are only suffering, they commit suicide. Of course, the story goes like this. One person got $1 billion in this lottery. Then his friends and relatives told, don't announce this thing. He may not be able to digest it. He may die. Sometimes it happened. So the local father told, I am taking the responsibility. I will go and tell him. So he went to him and said, friend, suppose if regularly you purchase the lottery ticket, and suppose this time you have got $1 million, what will happen to you? Oh, 1 million, okay, this is a good number, that's all right. I have this plan, that plan. Slowly, slowly, he was increasing and said, $1 billion, is it $1 billion? 50% is yours. Father died. If I really get the $1 billion, I promise that I will give you 50% of it. Father immediately died. He came to help him. But anyway, so that is the way the mind goes. Our mind constantly receiving different type of impressions and thinking in a different way. Here, that is why he is telling that mind is also sattva, raja, tama. these three gunas. And this Sattva, Raja and Tama, three gunas, they are changing their quantities, but they are still there. And hence we see the same mind exist essentially throughout the many rebirth of the individual. It is only the play of the gunas that makes the mind alter its form and expression in different incarnations. Now seemingly predominantly evil, now predominantly good. One person came to Ma Saradamani Devi and the others told, Ma, you should not talk to her. She is a very bad person. The mother told, I know who is really good and who is really bad. Why? Because the mother could see the past, the mother could see the future and the present, of course. So, all people coming apparently very good people or bad people. We are only just that moment, whatever it is there, we are thinking, but we do not know the past, we do not know the future. It may change any moment. And only those type of people who could see the past and the future and of course the present, as they call it God and goddesses, they can behave in that way. So, the mind is all the time carrying the impressions, this moment is very good, we say very good person, but the bad, all those things are already there waiting to be expressed, and when it is expressed, immediately people say, oh my God, look at it, he was yesterday only such a nice man and today he is such a bad person. So, this way it continues. Why we were discussing so thoroughly about all these things? Because we are dealing with the mind, and mind means our impressions, mind means our thoughts, mind means what we are thinking about other things, other objects, other people. So, all that we are carrying, that is why Ma Saradamani Devi said, do not find fault with others. When you are finding fault with others means all those faults, bad things will come in your mind and you will carry all those things. That is the idea. How then is liberation possible? The question. How then the liberation is possible? Our subconscious tendencies, the yogi said, Patanjali, have their basis in the mind. The mind is so important. Mano eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaye. The mind is the cause of the bondage and liberation. Mind is the cause for suffering or joy. So, once I forgotten where I was going, it was snowing outside. So, the flight was not cancelled, but delayed. And then we found that all people, there one little girl, young girl, she went and saw something and she called, all people went, we saw through that the glass, one person and the employee, the staff or the ground staff over there, when it is snowing heavily and also on the ground there is so much of snow, he is jumping and dancing. So, all they were enjoying and they started clapping. Of course, he couldn't hear, we also couldn't hear his music. He is having some in his ear, he is listening the music and dancing in that heavy snow. People forgot that we are actually delayed and we do not know when the flight will go, but they were enjoying. The same thing, same situation, but suddenly something changed the whole idea. Nobody thought that we are delayed, but everyone was appreciating that even in that harsh situation, this man could express joy. And he was looking at us and he was making fun, come, come, join me, like that. He was calling us and he was dancing over there. Then after some time, of course, that he went. I observed, and then I thought it was a very difficult situation. Everybody tense. Everybody is thinking what is going to happen to us. If they announce that we are going to cancel, what will happen? Where we will be? Now, for some time, we forgot. Same situation, same place. We forgot. Why? Because someone was creating in such a way we could enjoy. So, same mind which was suffering, the moment it gets something, is enjoying. So, this is the way it says our subconscious tendencies have their basis in the mind. Therefore, a man must cease to identify himself with the mind. This is the point. Now, last half an hour, we are wrestling to understand this. If I can be detached from my mind, there is no problem then. Why? Because all these impressions are there in the mind. If I am totally detached from my mind, this is very important, and then there is no problem. I think many of you know that famous incident that happened in the life of Swami Turiyananda ji, one of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Without anesthesia, as a carbuncle was operated on his back. The doctors were not ready to do that, and they told it will be so painful, you cannot bear it. The Swami told, give me a few moments, then you operate. He sat, meditated, then he spoke and told, please do, no problem for me, and believe me, I am not going to suffer. Can you imagine a person from the same body speaking and telling that I am not this body? Can you imagine? That is the proof of the yoga. The moment you are disassociated with the mind, no problem if the mind is enjoying or suffering, because you are totally different. And what is this you? Who is this you? And there comes the answer from the Vedanta that we are Atman, we are Brahman, we are consciousness. So, when I am detached with my mind, I am away from my own mind and body, still I am there. And that I is the I consciousness, that is the Atman. A man must cease to identify himself with the mind in order to win liberation. So, what is the goal? Why we should meditate? To get this point. Why we should try all this Ashtanga yoga, get up early morning, sit over here and they do this, do that. Why all this? Only think this point. What is that? Detached from the mind, and you are totally free. No suffering, no enjoyment, you are tranquil. When there is no air, there is no ripple in the water. The airs are blowing, things are moving, but nothing has happened. So that's why it says Paramahamsa. Parama means the supreme, Hamsa means the swan. Why the swan? Because it is in the water, but no water can touch it or wet it. The moment it is out of water, immediately dry, not a stain over there in the body. So that is the reason one must learn to detach himself from his mind to get the liberation. When he knows beyond doubt that he is Atman and not the mind, he is made free from his karma. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to offer the water to his ancestors. That is the system the Hindus they follow. They go and take the Ganga water and offer to the ancestors. Actually, it is a reminding to the ancestor that you have given me this birth and this body, and so that this is a system in Hindus. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to practice it, but he could not take out the water with that idea that I will offer it. Why? The water was coming out from the finger. Then he was thinking, well, how come I cannot remember my ancestors? Then he went to a very learned person and he said, no, your karma is over. You did not to do anything. So this way, always when the mind is totally detached, totally different from the mind, then all his karma ceases. And when there is no karma, there is no action. When there is no action or result, he is free from the birth and rebirth, the circle. So he is receiving the kaivalya, the mukti, the mind of a liberated soul with all its past and present and future impressions has no longer any existence as a phenomenal object. And Sri Ramakrishna said, so that body will remain. Body will be like this. After realizing the Atman, the Brahman, the God, the same body, same habit, same thing will be there. But with this body and mind, no action and no result. And he is giving the example. Suppose there is a golden sword. The figure of the sword is just golden sword. It's a sword, but it cannot cut like other swords made of steel. Similarly, a rope which has been already burnt, apparently if you see is exactly the rope, but it cannot bind, because though the figure and apparently it is a rope, but that thing is lost. This is the beauty of the Hinduism. Every step they will be judging, discriminating every point, and this only we are going on simple meaning that we are reading. But so many arguments and counter arguments will be there in this book. So much. When you say like this, then how it will be, then how it will be. Here, in a very simple manner, it says, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said in that way, I have done everything for you. Only remember me. That will do. This is a great thing we do not understand. I have done everything for you. Only you have two things. Have faith on me, my words, and remember me, and you will be liberated. Can you believe? All these people that they are teaching that you have to make this and that, it is possible only with so simple way in this modern age. You have to have the faith in God. That's why side by side I took two subjects. One is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Every Tuesday evening we study Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I have given a catchy name, Panchama Veda. Because of the name, the cassettes are selling very fast. People thinking, of course, immediately next line I have mentioned is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, explanation of Gospel of. Why Panchama Veda? Knowledge. The four Vedas giving us the knowledge. This is the practical knowledge. What is that? Have faith, faith and faith. In his own words, Bishwash holo to sab hoye gelo. If you have faith, then you have achieved everything. What you have achieved? This knowledge that I am, though this moment, thinking that I am a body and a mind. No, I am the consciousness beyond all these things. What a unique idea! Breaking the all bondages, all smallness, narrowness. So this is, they are teaching us, and it says, it is not lost. It is resolved back into undifferentiated matter, Prakriti. Now suppose my mind, all the impression, where it will go? There is a storehouse. All these things will go to that store. In the Prakriti, they call it nature, Prakriti. So God is Kali, and the conception they say Shakti, they say Mahashakti. What is all that? Prakriti. All things are there remaining. All the ideas. Now the great souls, like the Lord Buddha and the Chaitanya and the Jesus, Sri Ramakrishna, whatever they thought, are they lost the moment the Chaitanya passed away or the Jesus passed away? Everything is lost? No, it is there. And it is so powerful. Those thoughts are so powerful. Though anyone thinking about that, immediately as if it is connected with that source. And that is why the Mahapurushas, the great hearts, after they realize they don't like to die. Why? They like to keep their more and more and more achievements, highest thoughts in this atmosphere, in this Prakriti. And in there, if any person thinking a little about that, immediately the flow of the thought will come and help him. Swami Vivekananda is one place is telling, if you think a bad thing, the whole bad, all the bad, ugly things, evil things will be activated and they will rush to you. You are thinking in a very small way, then that thought will be connected. An ordinary person will become the devil incarnate. How it happens? Because all the bad thoughts are also there. And suppose you are thinking a little about the Godhead, meditating on God, praying to God, trying to become good, what happens? All the good, immediately it will be connected. And you will see in our lives, when we first came in contact with the religion, we were not knowing what is this. We used to come and say, oh, this is God, and all our connection, our attentions used to be on the prasada. Of course, in Vedanta society, there is no prasad, so people are not interested. And our attention would have been, the prasada, what type of things are there, and the puja is going on. At the time of, in the last, then we were calculating, I am not getting this prasada, that prasada, in the childhood. Then slowly, good thoughts are coming to us. Why? That atmosphere, we are growing up in that atmosphere. So Swami Vivekananda told, go on thinking good, and all over the universe, whatever, wherever the good is there, will rush to you, help you, and then you will find that you are also none but like Buddha or Christ. So this is the proof. In the 14th aphorism, it also says in same way, the 13th, 14th, the same, all this aphorism. And it's telling like this. Then after it says like this, na cha ekachitta tantram vastu tat apramanakam tada kim syat. Swami Vivekananda didn't mention this aphorism, this sloka. But the editor mentioned this because many of the other writers, they mentioned this one. And here, vastu samme chitta vedat tayo vibhakta panthaha. Vastu samme, same that we were discussing, chitta veda, different type of minds, tayo vibhakta panthaha, different type of impressions are coming. Swami Vivekananda explained that. Afterwards, he didn't mention the next aphorism, but in his book, the editor mentioned that, and many others are also mentioning. What is that? Nacha ekachitta tantram vastu tat apramanakam tada kim syat. Now it says, in these two aphorisms, Patanjali refutes the philosophy of subjective idealism. Following Shankha philosophy, he admits the reality of an objective world which is independent of our mental perception. We were discussing a little while, that is, in the Buddhistic way, Buddhistic philosophy, they say we create because we think. My mind is thinking. It is not like that. That is independent. Objects are all independent and we are thinking like that. Furthermore, he points out that the perceptions of our one individual vary from those of another. The same object, different people, they see in a different way. The example given by the commentator is that of a young and beautiful married woman. She brings joy to her husband, causes other women to be jealous of her beauty, arouses lust in the lustful, and is regarded with indifference by the man of self-control. A beautiful young lady, so all these four different types of same mind, but different Purusha, different mind, they are looking at the same object and different type of results are coming. Which of these observers knows her as she really is? The object that we see and we think that is this, but actually who really is she? We do not know. None of them. The object in itself cannot be known by sense perception. By sense perception, this is the word we must remember. Some people, they say, unless we see with our own eyes, we won't believe. But even our eyes also deceive us. We see something thinking that this is this, afterwards we find no, it is not. So it naturally it changes. When we see something and we think that this is the thing, when we go near, we see no, it is not like that. So that is the way. In the again it says, and I think this is a big aphorism and their explanation. It will be very difficult to complete within this 5 minutes. If you have any question and if I know the answer, let us have this. Because let me summarize today's topic that we discussed. Objects are there and my mind is here. I see the object as per my mind. This is one thing. Different people, they see the same object and experience in a different way. That proves one object may be there, but it is reflected in different mind in different way. Same object, as we gave the example. And then thirdly, it proves that when different mind is thinking in a different way, that means mind are different, minds are different. How? Because the gunas. What are those gunas? Sattva, Raja and Tama. And when a Sattik person look at the same thing, it reflects in a different way, he perceives in a different way, he realizes or achieve his knowledge in a different way. Tamasic, different way, Rajaguni, different way. So the mind is nothing but the combination of these three gunas. Now, where is the pantha? How to get liberation then? Because our idea is to get the kaivalya, the mukti, the liberation from the bondage. How to achieve that? Then it says that you have to develop your mind in such a way that you are not the body and mind. You have to separate yourself from your own mind. So this is the today's study. You have to separate from your own mind. Then there is no reflection of the past, present and the future karmas. Where the karmas will go? They will go back to the Prakriti. they will go back to the source. So now if you have any question, please let us have. Yeah.
Swamiji, if you could explain, like, what is the definition of an object?
So, definition of an object, suppose in the scientific way, if you explain, is a totally different. But if you are explaining from the spiritual point of view, and now we are studying the yogic point of view, the combination of 5 things. And then if it is a living being, then Sattva, Raja, Tama, the 3 gunas combination are there. The trees and the stones and all those things that we see are nothing but the combination of 5 things. What are those? We know that the earth, the water, the air, the ether, like this, the Pancha Mahabhuta. So, these Panchabhutas, they are creating the object, all that you see. And then when we are leaving, consciousness is there, naturally the 3 gunas making these 3 things more prominent, sometimes Sattva, or Raja, or Tama. So, this is the way we see.
So, when we try to practice to control our mind, which means that we don't want to reflect on the object rather than accept what the object is. At the same time, we are trying to do good things. You mentioned that we should, act on good things. So, without that reflection, how do you know which is good or which is bad?
I can understand that. It's a wonderful question, very good question. What is good and what is bad? What is good this moment may be bad in the next moment. What is good to a Hindu, bad to somebody else? This is a very good question. Now, the thing is, that is the good thing which is not harming others, rather helping others. That is a good thing. So, that we all know. It may be good to me, but harmful for others. When we go to the toilets, the public toilets, I wash my hands and I throw all litters, good to me, I am clean, bad to the next person. Who will be next come to use that toilet, and you say, oh my God. So, like this, one must be always conscious about, I am not disturbing others, I am not creating problem for others with my thought and with my deed, with my action. So, obviously, that is the thing. In the Chicago, just near the Chicago University, 2 things happened. One, of course, a little earlier, one person came from India, young monk, and he told each and every one, don't be narrow minded, try to understand others, try to accept their paths also. Vivekananda. He said, why you are all the time criticizing and thinking that they are all bad? Your thought is the perfect one, right? So, the friendship, fraternity, brotherhood, and what will happen? You are remaining as you are, your culture, your food habit, your religion, your language will be as it is, but at the same time, you are ready to accept others also. My brother, I can't understand your tongue, your language, but I appreciate. Your food, I cannot accept, but it's good for you. Go ahead. That broad-mindedness, that's all. Swami Vivekananda said, unless you will have to suffer, and that we did. Again, in the Chicago University, the bomb was created. And that one person is a scientist, is also a very intelligent person. So, that was created and it was thrown, and thousands of people, they died. So, 2 thoughts only, isn't it? One person thinking for the betterment of others, another person thinking to destroy others so that I am safe. 2 thoughts are there. So, what is the good and what is bad we know. And that is why the moment you are good, you are a religious person. Why? Because you are loving everyone, irrespective of any caste, creed, the language, anything. So religious person cannot say, so he is different, I am different, she is different, I am no. So that is the good thing. What will happen? If you go on pondering about the good, everybody will be happy. The moment you are happy, you are positive, wherever you will go, all around you, all people will be thinking in that way. Ultimately, the whole society will be happy. So that is the thing. Yeah.
How to detach from my own mind in a simple way?
A simple way means there are 2-3 things they say. Now we have to shift to the practice side. Now, if you are meditating, the yoga, in India, they very nicely segregated and they told some people are there who are contemplative. They don't like to mix with others, they don't like to act so much, they don't like, so they are contemplative minds, so they are yogis. They will sit and they will withdraw the mind. Where from they will withdraw the mind? From the objects. Rupa, Rasa, Sabda, Sparsha and Gandha. That's the object that is we see through our eyes, then we hear, then we taste, so they will withdraw. And after withdrawing, where they are keeping it? In their mind. Then even then, when that mind, when they have withdrawn and there is no the supply, so when there is no supply line is already cut, no supply is there, slowly that mind will be free from the external object. What will happen? It will purify. How it will purify? By nature, it will be purified, because it is reflected by the Atman, very close to the Atman. So the tranquil mind will have the reflection of the Atman, and then it says it is purified mind. It's not that we are totally, we don't have any mind at all, just like a machine, like a stone. No, not like that. The mind is there, but that mind is too completely purified. Why? Because you are so close to that Atman, and over that mind, tranquil mind, when there is no ripples of other thoughts, there is no desire, over that mind, the Atman will be reflected, and that will give you the total freedom. So that is the idea. Anything? Well, nice. So see that I think within 1 or 2 classes we will complete the Yoga Darshan. A very difficult book, but very patiently I have noticed some of them, some of you, regularly you came, and very interestingly. But I will suggest, please purchase this book, Raja Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. Then read carefully, slowly. Don't try to practice. Only read and try to understand. The moment we try to go to practice, for as in the previous chapter we were reading, that people can go from here to other place without anything, because his body will be light. He can understand the other's mind, he can control other's mind. All these things, if you try to practice, then it will be very difficult. But if you would like to know the secret of this, excellent. And Swami Vivekananda, great yogi, yogi by birth, he has explained it very nice way. So many different explanations are there, but Vivekananda's explanation is excellent, very easy to understand, and we will know that we are our foe and we are our friend, because my mind. So mind is my friend, mind is my foe. I am suffering because of my mind. I can enjoy because of my mind. And only that technique if we learn, this life is full of joy. And let us conclude with that. Sahana Bhavatu. Please repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. saha viryam karvavahai tejasvina adhitamastu ma vidvishabhai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.